So RBA analyst Michael Wilbon, he goes Mortal Kombat fatality mode on LeBron James. Goes Jeffrey Dahmer, eats LeBron James alive. LeBron James gets thrown on the grill like a burger at a black cookout. Michael Wilbon goes Street Fighter Dragon Ball Z on LeBron James. Exposes LeBron James for disrespecting the media, biting the very same hand who gave him the most positive coverage, the most positive exposure that he's ever gotten in his RBA career. LeBron James bashes the very same media who has praised him, who has programmed the masses of people worldwide to brainwash them and program them into believing that LeBron James is the greatest player in RBA history, when LeBron James isn't. But here's what Michael Wilbon had to say. This article is per Fadeaway World, and the headline reads, Michael Wilbon fries LeBron James for complaining about media criticism. He says, quote, "We're not on your payroll." He goes on to say, first of all, we live in a world now in which those guys, and particularly LeBron, they know how to use and manipulate social media. He goes on to say, but it goes both ways. It cut both ways, and that's where a great part of the negativity is. We live in a world that is largely negative, having nothing to do with sports. He says, that's the world we live in, and you live in it, LeBron James. And in LeBron's case, though when you've been praised justifiably, no, it's not justifiably, Michael Wilbon, may I add, you've earned the praise and the hundreds of millions of dollars that have started since you were 8 years old, when you put on a crown on your head. Do you actually believe that the rest of us are just in your kingdom to serve you? Sorry. He says there's criticism that comes with that. There's comparison that comes with that. I'd like to ask him, is he referring to the constant comparisons with Michael Jordan? Because if he doesn't like that, too dang bad. The comparison, the constant attention, that's how you get all of that money. It doesn't come from fannies and seats. He says it comes from attention and eyeballs and viewership and listenership and all of that. And I just wonder, do you think we're supposed to be just there in public relation terms? We're not on your payroll, LeBron James. This very same media protected LeBron James. They coddled LeBron James. They spun positive coverage, biased news towards LeBron James, painting LeBron James in such a positive light, pretending as if he's this Malcolm X, this so-called philanthropist, this so-called innovator, this so-called perfect father. Rarely did you ever see the media speak negative about LeBron James. They always praise LeBron James. They put out these very same talking points so that the casual fans who watch basketball can regurgitate those very same talking points every single day. So when you get into these RBA debates on who's the so-called greatest player in RBA history, those same fans can use them same talking points every single day. So LeBron James is now getting to a point where he's burning bridges, because now those very same media members are starting to speak out against LeBron James. How dare you come at the same media that made you the face of the league? You were handpicked. You were the chosen one by the media. Whenever you had a mishaps, whenever you had a bad game, whenever you choked, they protected you. They swept it under the rug. This is the same media who majority of your ex-teammates work for. Espn. This is why they were given the name Espn, because they always made sure that they covered news in your favor, always made you look like the good guy. LeBron James was never the villain. When the media is bashing your teammates and getting your teammates traded, it's not a problem. But here you are being disloyal. This is LeBron James's character. All he cares about is himself. You want to so-called come to Anthony Edwards' defense. Where was this same defense when they were attacking Russell Westbrook, calling him a vampire in the media, saying he was sucking the blood out of his teammates and the energy in the locker room? Where was this same energy, LeBron James? You don't even defend your own teammates like that. You want to embarrass them publicly, have these fake high school handshakes, increase their trade value, go behind their backs and have them traded. That's your character. That's what type of person you are. That's how you move, LeBron James. This is the very same media who spread lies, who spread propaganda, mind manipulation, use agendas on your behalf, LeBron James. They're the reason that people believe that you are the GOAT. Because without the media, and people had to use their own discernment, use their own judgment, and didn't have the media clouding their judgment and thinking for them and they judge your game based upon how you play the eye test, you wouldn't be in nobody's top 10. You're the most overrated player in NBA history, LeBron James. The media is the reason that LeBron James is able to make all these big trades at the NBA trade deadline and get all these all-star teammates. All the failures that you've had, all the times you came up short, it was that media that had your back. And then Michael Wilbon, you are on the LeBron James payroll. When you were working for Espn, oh yeah, you were on their payroll. Because LeBron James, he's a puppet for Espn and Disney. So you were forced to talk about LeBron James, and you had to repeat the name LeBron James over and over every 5 minutes, which is like a hypnosis. Hypnotizing people's minds, placing him in a conversation with Michael Jordan, making these so-called comparisons every day. So when people go into the barbershop and have these debates, there's the conversation of who's the top 2 greatest players of all time, and you got LeBron James. This very same media sweeps under the rug of you potentially being on steroids, performance enhancement drugs, allegedly. They don't even talk about it. The fact that you're 40-something years old has played the most minutes in NBA history. Not in just the regular season, but in the postseason. Hell, he's even outrunning Luka Doncic, walking around with ball spots. So yes, Michael Wilbon, you were on the LeBron James payroll. He was cutting your checks because he's connected to the higher ups. He is a part of the Illuminati, allegedly. He is a part of the Boule, allegedly. He is a part of the secret society, allegedly. Blood sacrificing humans, allegedly. You know about what goes on at those Diddy parties, Michael Wilbon. You've probably attended it with LeBron James, Michael Wilbon. LeBron James is the reason that the measles outbreak is back on the rise in America. LeBron James is cancerous and is starting to spread throughout the world, ladies and gentlemen. Beware. Be very afraid. LeBron James is the reason your toilet is clogged up. He's the reason that you use a plunger. LeBron James is jealous of the Anthony Edwards of the world, the Shea Gildress Alexanders of the world, because they're all far better than him. Now you want to so-called speak the truth. And I'm proud of the fact that the media is starting to turn their backs and open their eyes to LeBron James. Now they're going to start revealing the truth because now he's older. He needs to be on his way out the door. He's talking about basketball culture. What do you know about basketball culture, LeBron James? Talking about the NBA is better now than it ever was. No, it's not. LeBron James, you don't know nothing about basketball culture and ball movement. All you know is the LeBron James system. You hogging the ball. All you know is blacktop basketball. You ruin the game. You the one who introduced flopping to the world. You're the one who brought being lissified to the game. You're the one who popularized super teams. You advocated for super teams. Hey, LeBron James, didn't the media boost your son and helped him get drafted to the NBA and get selected by the Lakers when clearly he wasn't worth an NBA spot? The worst player in USC Trojan history. Averaged a whopping 5 points per game. LeBron James' career was manufactured. His career was scripted, and the media played a huge role in that. LeBron James is like hell on wheels. The media has been elite glazing LeBron James for years.